Hey folks, welcome back to the show. This is a bit of a special one today because I don't have one, I don't have two, I have three guests. Two Texans and a Japanese lady. First, one Texan I think you met before, earlier, much earlier, about a year ago on the show, Texas Doug.
It's good to be back, Marty. Thanks for having me.
Doug, and Doug's lovely wife, Hazuki, who was the first woman and the first Japanese guest on the show. Welcome back, Hazuki.
Hey, I'm back again, so thank you.
Yes, and their friend all the way from Austin, Texas, Bryce Benton.
That's me. Good to be here.
Welcome to the show. So, Bryce, how long have you been in Japan this time?
Excuse me, about 2 weeks now.
Yeah, nice. Why are you here this time?
Yeah, I came on a delegation to mostly to Oita, which is the sister city for Austin in Japan.
A Sister Cities program.
Yes, and we were celebrating 35 years since we officially began having that sister city relationship in 1990.
Cool. Have you been a part of it the whole time?
No, I just have been involved since January of this year, and I had a chance to visit Japan earlier this year in July, but I didn't make it down to Oita on that trip, so it was my first visit to Oita. So
This is your second trip to Japan this year.
yeah, I mean, both of those were, facilitated and through the Sister City connection. The first time I came in July was because we had an extra ticket that we auctioned off, and I won the auction.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
How much was the ticket in the auction?
The round trip, $500.
No. Very nice.
Yeah, I was the only bidder. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they had to use the ticket during the summer, and a lot of people are not up to like a trip that's with a short window like that.
Yes, that's right. What was it? 1 week you were here?
Also for 2 weeks.
Oh, that was
Yeah.
2 weeks as well. And what do you do in Austin?
I work for the Austin Public Library, and I help with the website there.
Oh, cool. Oh, cool. So you're like an IT dude?
Yes.
Ooh, slick. Well, I hope this little podcast setup kind of meets with your approval.
Oh yeah. I'm watching with eagerness to see how you do it, and yeah, I'm impressed with your setup.
Thank you. And have you been enjoying yourself in Japan? Your second time in Hokkaido.
Yes,
And second time ever in Japan?
that's right.
And twice
Yeah.
in 1 year.
So when I first started talking about making it out here to Japan, I was just mentioning it, just telling people on Instagram, hey, I'm about to go. And friend from a long time back, Doug, said, hey, I actually live out here. And we hadn't talked in, a long time, but we, now we're friends again. And I thought, hey, I'll come up and visit you. So I'm back again.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
And where did you guys first meet?
Oh, college days, I guess. We were
Co-
part of the same secondhand fraternity, I guess you might refer to it as. Yeah, we met in Denton, Texas, early 90s
Yeah, I joined in 1997 and
to late 90s. The 90s kind of run together for me, but anywhere between 91 and 99,
It's the early
it's
90s.
the early 90s.
it's still quite a ways back. I mean, 1997, where it seems like everything after 2000 seems like not that long ago, but we're getting on up there now.
Yeah. And so, okay, you work for the public library in Austin, kind of general world traveler.
Yeah, I mean, I like to travel. I lived in Germany for some time, and being in Texas, sometimes we go down to Mexico. But, I mentioned that I came here for 2 weeks on both trips, and I can't think of any other time in my adult life I had 2 weeks to travel. So I could get used to it. But yeah, that's actually not
Weeks are good.
typical for me.
Oh, sure. Okay, cool. And so what have you been doing with because this trip, you're mostly kind of based down in Oita.
Yes. Now, I have a friend in Tokyo, Eugen, that I know from Austin, who now lives back in Tokyo. So I visited him on both trips, but also on this one. So I spent, a couple. He's great for taking you out on the town. He knows places to go, and of course, he speaks the language, so
Cool.
it's fun. But even before visiting Japan, I had this notion that I wanted to travel, but to be received as a guest, not just to show up just as a pure tourist or, paying my way to the front of the line or something. I wanted to have a reason to be here and for people to welcome me, even if they're new friends like yourself.
Yeah.
But friends of friends, and so that's when I got involved with the Sister City Committee back in
I see.
Austin. But they were very the way they welcomed us was so heartwarming, and we made friends fast, and I can't wait to get back and visit those friends. But they really were just so happy to see us. Even when we visited some high school that we visited, everybody was waving and happy to see us, and it just felt great.
That's really nice. I find that really interesting about Japanese cities. I think most of them have sister cities. Like Ishikari, where we are now, is sister cities with Campbell River in BC, Canada. Sapporo, Sapporo is sister cities with Portland.
Yeah.
Seattle.
No, Portland. Portland. Yeah.
The city's Portland.
The sister city of Sapporo is Portland.
What state is Portland in?
Oregon.
Oh, sorry. Seattle. Wait, Seattle's a city. Sorry. Portland. Portland, and I think also with Munich in Germany, right?
Right. We were just talking about it last night. Yeah.
They all have these sister cities.
Yeah.
What have you had Japanese delegations go to Austin?
Yeah, we sometimes have students come over, and we sometimes send students over. And when we went to Oita on this trip, we brought 5 musicians and an artist as well, and the mayor pro tem as well, and the chief of staff for the police. So it was very official, and we focus on business, education, and culture, and sometimes sports as well.
Cool. It's like through local municipal government.
Yeah, now in Oita it is kind of part of their official government, but in Austin it's strictly volunteers. But it's a program that exists all over the place. It was started by former President Eisenhower after World War II. And
really?
Yeah, and as a way of kind of having some grassroots diplomacy and to rebuild these international connections, but especially with how things are going these days in the United States, we need it again. So it's nice to feel like we're doing something to, cultivate good relations. So just kicking everybody out and terrorizing people.
Yeah, I was with Bryce coming in and talking about this. I did look up the information on Sapporo and Portland, and that is one of the older ones.
Really?
1950s.
Really?
Is when Portland and Sapporo became sister cities. So it's like one of the earliest contributions to that program.
No way. Wow. I didn't know that. Thanks. Because what's the bridge down near Nakajima Park that's like dedicated to the sister cityhood of Sapporo and Portland? Or no. That's the Munich Bridge.
That's the Munich. To Munich in Sapporo. Yeah.
Okay.
Oops.
Munich, which is a nice town too.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
We should all take a trip out there. Some late September, perhaps.
Yep. For the fall colors
and the beer.
Wait, yes.
Oktoberfest.
Yes. Hey, very good. And Bryce, what have you been doing? So you're staying with Doug and Hazuki right now.
That's right. And before that, when I first got to Japan on this trip, I was in Tokyo. I didn't stay with my friend. I did the previous trip, but not on this one. So, we just kind of hung out together when I was in Tokyo. And then in Oita, I stayed at a hotel, but it was action packed, like 12 hours a day of all these different activities. So we went to schools, we went to the fire dispatch center, we learned about their transit system. We went to restaurants, museums. I went to there's like a aquarium that has animals. I saw some sea lions, walruses.
And up here in Sapporo, this is not a part of your official trip.
No, but I wanted to take the time, since I'm already over here, to visit Doug, and honestly yourself too, Marty. I want to come back and do some, cycle touring.
Well, that's what we were talking about in the summer. We were talking about maybe getting out for a bike ride, but
yeah,
being midweek and we're back full on at work.
Next time I'll give you some more advance notice and we'll have it planned.
Yeah, definitely. We'll get out for a ride. So what have you been doing up here?
Well, I went to the Museum of Modern Art, and I did some shopping at a sewing supply store. That's a recent hobby of mine, is embroidery.
Really?
So I got some nice thread.
What kind of things do you embroider?
Well, I like to send like I'm in a band, so I make merch. So I send like designs or lettering and upcycle clothes and just
You're in a band.
yeah.
You look like you should be in a band.
I know I've been getting that for a long time, but I haven't been living up to it till recently. I play the synthesizer. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
What kind of music do you guys play?
People ask that, and that's always a difficult question to ask. I mean, to answer, but I would say like indie. It's modern. It's we got a synthesizer bass, drum,
Like Devo
vocal.
Part 2?
Not quite that yeah, electric. So I guess just rock music.
Okay, excellent. And Hazuki, have you enjoyed having 2 Texans in the house?
It's good. I really consider them like as a Texan, whatever. Yeah, of course. I love having Texans in my house all the time. They're always welcome, you know.
Loud, big hats, well armed.
Yeah, they're opposite of that. But yeah.
Could you imagine if that's what you really were?
Yes.
Yes.
No, but I love having Bryce because he's just a very chill guy.
Very
you know?
chill.
Very chill, very nice, very sweet, you
Mm.
know. So he's sweet to my animals. So that's
Aw,
good.
thank you.
So yeah, I love having him. So I wish he could come back again.
Yeah.
You know, maybe it can be an annual thing, you know, every year.
Yeah.
Different season, you know. So yeah.
And we had snow for you here yesterday.
Yeah, that's something we don't see a lot of in Austin, so that was
Right?
nice.
But you do get snow.
Not every year, and if it is, like all the roads will be shut down.
Really?
Yeah, we're not ready for it.
Oh, see, Hokkaido almost never closes. It's open through all the
Right? I
blizzards.
know.
Yeah, it's a different thing. And have you been seeing the sights in Sapporo?
A little bit. I went to the Botanic
Museum.
Garden today, and
Oh, nice.
that was nice. I mean, it's not the best season for visiting the garden, just because it's kind of in between. But
The fall colors are really nice
yeah,
now.
that's true. That
But-
was nice. Yeah.
But that garden is actually for flowers.
yeah,
It's,
so
Mm.
there were some roses, which I was surprised, but
Mm.
but mostly we're kind of in between.
Mm.
But there's also a museum there. I learned a little bit about the Ainu.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love learning about the Ainu.
Yeah.
Right? Yes.
Yeah, I revisited that podcast of yours. I learned a little bit from
Oh,
that.
cool.
Yeah.
Thanks. It's a very interesting culture. And so many people don't know anything about the Ainu, like especially people visiting
Right.
for the
yeah.
first or even second time. Oh, that's really very cool.
Yeah, and as I was mentioning, I recently got into embroidery, but also just clothes making and fixing clothes. So I was impressed with their coats that they had. Nice designs, nice colors,
Yeah,
nice
they're
fabrics.
beautiful designs in their art and clothing. Yeah, amazing stuff.
Yeah.
That blue, right? That indigo blue
Yeah.
is really unique to their culture and style, if you will.
Yeah, and there's a kind of design, like so the way they do the curves. I don't know what you call that, but
I don't know.
Yeah.
But are you going to kind of try to make your own inspired by Ainu when you get
yeah,
back?
I think I will actually.
That's
Like-
good. Mm.
But just being practical like that is also just nice to have something that you just make yourself or fix yourself.
Mm.
But yeah, I'd love to borrow some of those designs.
Wow. I didn't know you were into embroidery. I'm kind of... That's pretty unique.
Yeah. Well, I moved to downtown Austin earlier this year, and as soon as I did, I joined the Contemporary Art Museum, just another museum downtown. I started going to seminars that they had, but they had an exhibit this past summer that was focused on what they call slow fashion, which means handmade clothes or
Sure.
upcycled or remade stuff. As it's kind of a reaction to fast fashion,
Sure.
which is a big problem with waste and just,
Yeah.
all that. But from listening to people talk about that, it just kind of put it in my head. I could maybe do some of that, or I could learn. And yeah, I did. I bought a sewing machine and learned how to do alterations. So now I can go to a vintage store or secondhand store and just buy a shirt. It may not fit already, but I can make it fit.
Sure.
So that's really opened up a lot of opportunities for just cheap and clothes, and it serves a need. I mean, we don't want to be just buying fashion and just throwing it out the next day.
No, yeah.
Remaking it or like finding ways to make it fit better and to have more use out of it.
Well, that's so true. The whole upcycling and fast fashion being such a global problem, like garbage
Yeah.
and waste just everywhere.
True. I think, but well, you've had that hoodie though for what now? 30, 40 years?
Yes. Yeah, I
So
don't
you're
buy
fighting
it. I don't
against it.
buy
You're fighting against it yourself.
in a
Well
different
done.
way. I just don't buy new stuff. But yeah, I've got clothes that are so old.
I think this too is come back in fashion. Actually, everyone wears it now.
It's true though.
Yeah. But that's interesting. Following along with your Instagram, I see you are touring like you're doing museums and you're doing yeah. I don't see you going like up Odori TV Tower or things super
Well,
common like that.
We did do that on my
Oh.
previous visit, so
Ah.
I'm not against it. But I always like taking in museums and cultural institutions and gardens. You know? They're not that expensive.
Yeah.
But just to see something that's unique to this place or that is something that has been cultivated and preserved.
Well, that's one thing. That's what I thought was really interesting about following along with your Instagram is that you're not just hitting like the main tourist spots in town.
Hmm.
You seem to be going a kind of a different route with exploring Sapporo.
Well, that's nice to say. And I'm also looking for places, especially like gardens or, places to do contemplation, to slow down a little bit, to not just stay busy all the time, but to let my mind kind of just resonate a little bit instead of just continually packing new things in, but maybe reflect on those things.
Well, I even really thought it was really cool that you took time to make a video of the rainbow today.
Oh, yeah.
That was today, right?
Yeah.
That was nice to see them, people's picture of soup curry or
Yeah. And that's an interest I have been cultivating this past few months is authenticity. And it means like making videos or presentations, especially about myself, that are unedited, that maybe I stutter a little bit, or maybe the sound quality wasn't perfect, or even the frame of the shot may not have been ideal. But that's actually something refreshing to have something less polished.
Well, that is exactly why I think I've been enjoying your Instagram, following your trip, because there is a kind of a different feel to it. And I guess it is more authentic. Like you're clearly not using all kinds of filters and things like that. It does have a real sense to it.
Well, I appreciate that. But again, that's something that I've been cultivating for just the past few months. And it comes after a long period of dormancy where I was hesitant to put things forward for lack of being perfect already. And it takes a little bit of courage and audacity to put yourself out there in a way that is not perfect or is not so eloquent or not edited and perfected. But it's been part of the healing process for me is to develop myself and to be okay with the state of imperfection and going through this cringe moments of like, sometimes I'm like, why? Oh, like previously I just would not have even gotten it out the door. But, I was mentioning I joined a band. Well, all these years people told me, oh, you look like you're in a band, but I was always feeling like that's for other people. I wasn't qualified enough. I wasn't as good of a musician as I thought I should be. And that's not really what it's about. It's about putting yourself out there and being okay with just going with the flow. But that does take some courage to get started. And of course, I still want to be improving my technique. I mean, it's not that I'm just content with not being good at stuff, but I just don't want to let that slow me down to never even try or to always be on the sidelines.
Right. That's an interesting way to put it. I'm not just content with not being good at stuff.
It's not just rationale.
I am extremely content not being good at it.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
I'm fine.
I
just the
understand
way
I suck.
am. Leave me alone.
I'm good.
Well, even that's talking about that embroidery. It's, I'm new at it, so it's that I have an excuse to not be that good at it. And there's something kind of comforting about that. but some of the museums we went to in Oita had some bamboo art,
Mm.
and it was incredible. And the artists actually, just by coincidence, were there at one of the museums that we were visiting. And one of them said that she spent 3 months making that basket. It's like flawless
Yeah.
and like very intricate. And that's not my style. But previously, because it wasn't my style, I wasn't doing anything.
Right.
And so at least now, even with the embroidery, I am on getting better, or I've got stuff to show for it, or I've had a good time doing it, or it's opened my mind to new possibilities for creativity. And yeah, it would be nice if it would be perfect, but not if it would be alienating myself or anybody else. And just being okay with myself, it's been uplifting for just to talk about it and give other people a chance to do whatever they want to do and give that a try.
That's very interesting. Very interesting. Well, that's kind of similar to you, Hazuki. I mean, when we were talking about you moving all the way to Texas,
Right.
you're
Yeah.
taking on these new challenges. And,
Right. Yeah.
you know, how you were saying it feels like you've lived 2 lives and you're possibly on your 3rd right now.
Right. Yeah.
Kind of similar ideas, right?
Yeah. I think that's just I don't know. It just feels lucky that I got that opportunity. I'm just grateful for that, and also, yeah, I'm happier now because I'm here. But then I also had a really good 2 previous lives. Like the first time in Japan and also Texas too. So yeah,
Yeah.
that was a good experience.
Yeah, everybody's opening up to new possibilities, and except us, does it?
Yeah. Finding our ways. No, but I would say that
podcast is a new thing.
That's
Right?
it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, but then that's like you're taking up opportunity to try those things. I think that's pretty awesome, though.
Well, because it's really good motivation to get out on the bike to find new places and new
Right,
things.
yeah.
So it's been really, really fun like that. So this has been new, but it's been 2 years plus now. Yeah, which has been, and every week. So I'm stoked you came on, because until I head out, I'm going to go down to Jozanke tomorrow by bike to hopefully check out some of the fall colors. But up until this week, I didn't even have that much to talk about this week.
rain again.
Rain.
No, but I'd say that just even to me, Bryce has kind of been like an inspiration, because in a sense, I've felt the same that if I wasn't good enough at it, that it's kind of stopped me from even pursuing. And I think, several other people may have that kind of feeling sometimes. And yeah, just the fear of failure, stops us so many times from doing anything. But as I was saying to him the other day, it's like, well, if this doesn't work out, who am I trying to impress? Nobody. Right. So there's nothing wrong with just moving forward on something, no matter what it is, embroidery or podcasting or moving to the other side of the world.
Or Japanese.
Yeah. I've been, just trying to double up my effort on that. And, started to kind of see a little bit of improvement, actually, these days. I was reading some stuff. And I was like, oh, am reading this. You know what I mean? Not getting this word and then taking this word to the dictionary. Yeah. And then eavesdropping on our co-workers' conversations, picking up on some of that. They were talking about us earlier, by the way.
Oh, were they?
Yeah.
Hopefully it wasn't too negative.
I couldn't tell what they were saying, but I knew they were talking about us.
Hazuki, honest, Doug's at the lunch table every day working away on his Japanese, and he's got his textbook, he's got his notebook.
Is he making you say that or no?
No. Honestly, he's
really?
working on it. He's working on it. He's going to get to that level 1 he was talking about before.
Yeah. I want to understand. See, gotta go. And that's another thing. See, that's just on the opposite end. Like if I would, I can understand the idea that if I do make a plan, I make this very outrageous and high ideal plan. Like I'm going to pass the level 1 test. Yeah. And then if I don't make it, then I feel bad about myself.
Well, because if you pass level 4 and that's all you get, it's still a great,
apparently.
It's still a victory.
Yes. So yeah.
Well, I'd say one thing you're doing well, Doug, is hospitality. And as I was mentioning earlier, when I first started making those videos a few months ago and really putting myself out there in a very vulnerable way, Doug is one of the people that reached out and was basically saying, I hear you. And he didn't realize it. Maybe he did a little bit, but that's what I needed. I needed somebody from far away to welcome me, to make me have a reason to go visit. And as I was mentioning, that was been on my mind as kind of a loose type of fuzzy type of dream since more than a year. And I hadn't talked to Doug in a while. I didn't realize that he lived out here. And once he did, and again expressed the openness for me to come visit. And again, to revisit, I didn't burn that bridge.
First one went all right.
The first trip was fine.
Come on back.
And y'all are working this week, and I'm here in the middle of the week, so it's not the perfect time to be a host, but it did really serve a need that I'm really grateful for, and it's making me want to come back again and make plans to do it even better the next time.
So you've been getting around town by yourself while we've been at work this week, right? Have you been getting along all right with the language, with the locals?
Well, yeah, I mean, I learned how to ride the subway and the bus and how to pay for that, especially on my previous trip, and mostly went the right direction once or twice, got on the wrong bus or waited at the wrong platform.
Yep.
But, that just goes with the territory. But my language skills are not, I would say minimal would be generous. So, like, I'm having to, even before I go to the 7-Eleven, I'm like, okay, it's arigato gozaimasu. Okay, yeah, okay, I'm ready, here we go. But that's so little. And, that's something that maybe previously I would have felt like, oh, I'm not good enough, or I was studying really intensively. But whatever. You can get by pretty easily in English or just pointing at stuff here. People are very nice. But I honestly, just out of respect, would like to learn some more of the language and to be able to go deeper into the culture. But at least I'm not going to let that prevent me from coming at all, and be a stimulus for making me want to go deeper at all,
Yeah. If you don't mind me asking, a little earlier, you mentioned that doing all these new things, you found it healing.
Yes. Yeah.
Can I ask?
Yeah.
And you're talking a lot about kind of reinvention.
That's true. So I got divorced this year, and I've been in a long relationship, with my wife, but through a lot of therapy and introspection, and it didn't come instantly. I realized that I kind of had lost myself. I had turned myself into what I thought was a perfect partner, trying to solve her problems or trying to solve everybody else's problems, but not really focusing on myself very much, or not developing myself, or not. There's some emotions like anger or frustration that I somehow thought were just unhealthy. But what's unhealthy is not feeling them. What's unhealthy is, burying those things. So talking about being authentic was revealing that that's where I'm at, and that it's a difficult time in my life, and I need friends, or I need to, be open and honest about what's happening to me. And I moved into, I haven't lived on my own since a long time, but it has been a renaissance of creativity and inspiration since then. As I said, I joined a band and I've been traveling, also took up embroidery and alterations, and, also I never considered myself qualified as an artist, but now I do.
Yeah.
Doesn't say I'm good at it. They're not going to put me in some museum anytime soon.
Right.
But I'm making stuff that I feel good about, or I feel like the world wants, that I want to see in this world. And in that sense, the world wants to see it too.
That's amazing. So, wow. Yeah. So these trips to Japan and your wow, you really are on a journey of healing.
Yeah.
Self-rediscovery.
Yeah, and it's, as I keep saying, it's a matter of learning how to be vulnerable and being able, holding that instead of pushing it down, and, seeing what's on the other side instead of being too afraid to go through that door. And, that's something we can all do more of, or, that never ends. But yeah, I'm more social. I'm able to talk to people better, or I'm, more adaptable music-wise or art-wise, or just comfortable to try new things. And I had just really been living in a diminished capacity for a long time. I'll put myself to blame for that, but it was also because I was that way. entered into a lot of, my previous relationship kind of accentuated that quality, that there was a never-ending list of things that I could be doing for her, or that, to avoid dealing with my own self. But, I still have that quality that I want to be a servant, I want to be helpful, I want to help people, but not at the risk of losing myself. And I realized that developing myself is not actually selfish.
No, not at all. Well, I mean, my cycling stuff is completely separate. Like Haruka my wife doesn't join me on any of those trips. I mean, yeah, she's come to rescue me a couple of times out of the road when things have gone wrong with the bike, but that's a completely separate, that's for me. That cycling thing is for me and me alone. And, Haruka really gets that as well. So if I take off for a weekend, it's not a big deal at all. She's like, here's a couple of rice balls. Go ahead. See you later.
Yeah.
Because you do have to have that, your own self even if you're in a relationship, right? You have to have you.
Yeah. And it took me a long time to come to terms with that, what that even is. But I'm loving it. As I said, it's just been, I'm gushing with ideas and creativity and energy. And, that still I have plenty of energy to give back. It's not that I'm just taking all the energy for myself, but it feels more like building instead of depleting. And yeah, I would recommend anybody, wherever they are, to take a risk or to follow an interest, even if it might seem a little scary.
Well, I mean, Doug and Hazuki, that's you guys moving back here, picking up a comfortable set life and packing it all to move back here.
Yeah. Comfortable is a bit of a stretch, but it was definitely set. It was definitely set for sure.
Oops.
And it has brought some challenges, definitely. Like I said, I'm in the middle of a lot of it myself, just like trying to catch up with the language, navigate the new bureaucracies of the cities.
Trying to get your driver's license.
Get my dang driver's license, yeah. But so far, and I like everything other thing I was saying, I tend to worry a lot more than I need to. Like I was super worried about going in there to driver's license office and turning my paperwork in, communicating in Japanese, because they're really serious on their website about, you got to speak Japanese.
Yeah.
There's no foreign language support here at this office.
Yeah.
And so but I just went in there and it worked out, and it might not have been the best Japanese, but they knew what I was talking about.
Sure.
And they were friendly enough to let it happen. So.
And especially this year, because there's new rules for...
Starting October 1st, all the new rules took effect.
Is it for Americans only?
No, all foreigners.
All foreigners.
All foreigners who are transferring a license.
Right.
I mean, if you just go through the standard, get a Japanese license.
That's normal.
That's normal for everybody.
But you're talking about transferring Canada, America, wherever you're coming from.
Well, I think if you have to do the test, like from what I understand, like you Canadians don't have to take the test. So nothing changes for y'all.
I didn't have to do any driving test. It was straight up paperwork.
So you had to do the paper test. So the paper test...
I didn't have any test at all. No.
Well, the paper test has gone from 10 questions, and you had to get a 70 on it, 70%, and that was previous. But starting October 1st, it's now 50 questions, and you got to get a 90.
Ooh.
And the driving test has gone from, I don't know what it necessarily implies, but it's gone from like 15 minutes to 30 minutes.
Okay.
So
just drive slower.
They may ding you on that. I did, after I turned my paperwork in, I walked around the back and watched some of the people doing the driving test. They were going pretty slow, and I was like, I can do that. But as I recall, what's going to get me is hitting the wiper when I'm trying to turn the blinker on.
Oh, yeah.
Because that steering column's opposite. It's not just on the other side of the car, but the steering column's opposite.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking I need to build like a little makeshift to practice there in the house with. Like some child's toy.
But you came home after this driving test place, and I was kind of worried a little bit. I went to work, and I knew he was going to go there all by himself.
Yeah.
And I didn't get to go because I had to work that day, right? But then I didn't want to show too much that I worried so much because, I thought he was going to mess up or something or whatever. Or something goes wrong and he's just going to leave. He get mad and he's going to leave in the middle of the thing, right? But then I came home and
I do that.
Well, I mean, some people could.
I'm out.
I
was worried. But then I came home and he actually looked happy and a little bit more confident.
For the first time.
Confident this morning, right? I'm like, okay. So I think it's just a good thing that, because I'm always there just to be a translator.
You're right.
And that's not going to help.
Right.
You're going to have to be on your own and make a mistake, and it's okay. But then you learn from mistakes.
For sure.
You only learn from mistake. And I tell him that.
You got to push the baby bird out of the nest.
That's
Now,
right.
are you able to retake the test if you get
Oh yeah,
89?
they'll let you take it. It's like $2,500 a pop, but you can retake it probably. So
But isn't it great how Hazuki's worried about us all the time?
all the time.
I know.
You know?
Little mama
I'm
bear.
worried.
Yeah, right.
I'm always worried about everybody.
Yeah.
So,
I really appreciate you worrying about me when I'm out on my bike too.
yes. Yes. I worry about you all the time for my concert. Yes.
Yes.
Eaten by bears.
Eaten by bears. Well, that's
Yeah.
the big thing this year, right?
Yes,
the bears.
it is.
But that's like what we were talking about the other night. We shouldn't be this scared. It's the media's got us going
But
crazy.
do the bears have bikes? I mean, could you out-pedal it?
There are bears with bikes.
I would like to think I could out-pedal it, but I think what would be safer is just to be able to out-pedal my friend.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Ride with slower bicycles.
Ride with slower people.
Yes.
Oh.
Secret to survival.
Yeah.
That's why I don't ride with Marty anymore.
Oh,
Yeah.
good. Yeah, you're going to be left behind.
I would
Keep
be
trying to
like
use
that.
the windshield wiper on the bike.
Yeah.
You got a couple more days up here in Hokkaido.
Just tomorrow. I'm flying back on Friday.
Just tomorrow then.
Yeah.
That's right. You guys are heading out to do something tomorrow.
We'll chill out tomorrow. We'll check out some other spots in town. Maybe pick up some souvenirs for me to take back to Austin.
Yep.
Couple more dinners and couple more dinners.
Speaking of dinner,
Yeah.
we had your first haggis this
Oh,
evening.
yeah, that's right, Haggis.
That's right, folks. Scottish haggis. I served my Texas guests their first ever Scottish haggis, and it was Grant's. What was it called? Grant's. Hang on.
It's your Haggis.
Grant's Premium haggis.
Yeah, there's premium. Since 1885.
And
Says
HP
that-
brown sauce.
And HP brown sauce. Their first HP brown sauce, too. So this is the haggis that my cousin Jim brought over from Scotland. So this is actually from Scotland. This isn't bought at like Jupiter or
Yeah,
anything
maybe
like
get a
that.
sponsorship for this episode.
It's haggis.
Grant's Premium Canned Haggis.
Your Texas friends will love it.
Yeah.
Yes. I can't believe that was your first time having haggis, though.
No. It's just
Yeah,
no.
it barely reminded me of dog food. Hardly at all. I thought it was going to be more like Spam. Canned meat. And you
Right.
slice
Oh,
it
like
off,
that,
and
yeah.
it's like artisanal Spam.
Right.
But it's not bad. I like it.
It's not bad? Yeah.
I went back for seconds.
Excellent.
Mm.
No, but that's something you never thought would happen. I'm going to Japan. Got to have the
Yeah,
haggis.
that wasn't on my bingo card. Ramen, but maybe not haggis.
Yes. Actually, that'd be a good flavor for ramen, wouldn't it?
I don't know.
No.
I mean, I like the
Yeah.
haggis, but I don't know.
No.
Mm.
No. Do you have anything similar to that in Texas?
Well, it had like a hash. They do like
Sure,
they do
sure.
like a corned beef hash, and it
Yeah.
kind of had a that similarity to
And
it.
there's
but-
a Japanese Texan restaurant in Austin that makes ramen with brisket in it, and that's pretty good.
Ooh. Yeah, I bet
see,
that'd be good.
That would be good. See, that would be good.
It's not Haggis.
That's the- in Texas, apparently, unlike Scotland, we have like the meat part of the cow still available. They haven't the actual
Yeah,
the actual
conventional,
beef, right?
yeah.
So we can fill up on that.
You don't get the sheep's lungs,
We don't-
stomach, intestines.
But maybe after
The
after
stewing.
November 1st, that may become more of a thing in America because food insecurity is about to go out of the roof over there. So
Yeah, maybe.
yeah.
I don't know that.
The government's been shut down for a long time, and it's going to go on. And apparently, the in the States, SNAP, which is like the food welfare system,
Okay.
that people can qualify for. And just a quick point from what I've read, like close to like 51% of the people on SNAP benefits have full-time jobs. So let's go ahead and point that out real quick.
So you still need
Yeah,
assistance with a full-time.
your full-time Walmart job is not covering your needs in the States. But anyway, because of the current government shutdown, the SNAP benefits are going to stop on November 1st for many states.
Wow.
So we're not sure what's going to happen.
Okay.
Yeah, well, on a positive note, there's a lot of mutual aid efforts that are coming to try to meet that challenge, because a lot of people that are on these supplemental benefits are children. It's like,
Yeah.
it's not really their fault,
Hmm.
but yeah, it's tragic.
So, well, that's kind of interesting. So, seeing Doug and Hazuki living here in Hokkaido, visiting a couple of times this year, how do you feel about staying in Texas?
Well,
Because I guess obviously some people are
I'm
escaping.
definitely wanting to keep my options open, and it seems like every day it's getting worse, and so I want to be able to have some kind of escape plan. So yeah, here or anywhere else, then I'm open to that opportunity. But my job is tying me to Austin currently, so it's
Right.
not that easy to pull off. But the fact I was here at all with the Sister City Committee is attempting to turn the tide, is practicing diplomacy and developing friendships and good relations, and that is ongoing. So I want to make Americans have a better reputation, but also to literally make connections for myself in case I need to cash those in.
And have you felt welcomed as well? Like,
Oh, certainly.
yeah, nobody's like, oh my God, the big bad Americans are here.
No, well, the old joke is even when you're traveling is to sew a Canadian patch on your backpack. Yeah.
Yeah, and now you can do that with the embroidery skills.
Yeah, I know. I've got the skills. But no, Austin has a good reputation generally, even if Texas doesn't, because Austin, is more of a, friendly and, cultural. But, we need people to continue to bring goodwill and bring culture and develop these relationships, because the federal government and honestly even the whole state government is trying to shut that down. And it's, in my opinion, it's hard to get my head around, like, why would they want to do that? Because I have such a good time visiting, or I love eating, Japanese haggis, for example. And I want more people to have that opportunity and just to have a good time and to see the world from a different point of view. But, that's not what's happening for the most part in America. But they're still good people, and it's sometimes easy to think that everybody is so close-minded, and there's many, many good people, and I'm one of them. But the time is now to step up and do everything we can to spread joy and love and receive people and to be received, because it's becoming more and more vital that for self-preservation.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Doug, I'm always saying, some of the things you guys talk about when we're sitting around the lunch table are just completely foreign to me. I don't. I feel like growing up in, Ontario, it was just so much more sheltered than what you guys got exposed to and are now. Well, what were we saying the other night, Bryce, about your library in Texas? A couple of days ago, wasn't there?
Oh yeah, there was a shooting, a gun violence in the library.
While you've been here in this trip,
Yeah.
on this trip. Jesus, like I can't even imagine that. I see it on the news, but that's where you work.
Yeah. And it was honestly just a matter of time. I've been expecting it.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Why?
Just because guns are so prevalent that it just by odds are someone's going to use them eventually, and there's so much uncertainty with as we were just talking about, even getting fed, and what to speak of healthcare access and mental health care and housing. Everything is difficult. So I mean, difficult is saying it nicely. For some people, it's just out of reach.
Oh.
So that's going to boil over at a certain point. But it's not going to be an easy, Pandora's box to close. And those guns there's plenty of them. But that's again why I want to, build peace. And peace is, every step of the way is human relations. So what we're doing right now, talking with each other, being friends and sharing ideas, that's part of it. And just showing people that there's other ways besides violence or just one-sided small-mindedness.
Like I said, you grew up in Ontario, and your family, may not have grown up with guns, but there are plenty of guns in Ontario.
Yes,
and
there are.
There's hunting culture in Ontario.
Yes, there is.
And but there's also healthcare available in Ontario, and I know that there's plenty of people in Canada that have plenty of criticisms about the healthcare system in Canada. But the fact that it's just that say Bryce and I are like from the United States, supposedly the last superpower of the world, the leader of the free world, and healthcare is just financially out of reach out of more and more people every year. It just becomes more and more difficult just to have access to it. Just either via you can't afford to have it, or you're not within a locality to have it, and I think more rural America is recently going to have. It's going to be harder to get it in. Hospitals are closing down. And then, like I said, then there's just a flood of guns. That so without this access to the basic human needs, but plenty of guns.
Trouble.
While we're piling on all the the
Love
other
it,
thing is for-profit prisons, which is hard to get your head around. Why did anybody think that would be a good idea to profit from prisons? Because then there's just a need. They're just trying to fill them up, and then they just make more, and then they fill them up too. So, I mean, I think that's the root of a lot of what's happening right now, is that there's just this spigot of money if they can keep the prisons full. So they have to think of new ways to, capture people and put them in there.
That's the ICE thing.
Yeah, those detention centers are the detention centers that most of the ICE facilities are actually being operated and run by private corporations.
Yeah, like 90% of them.
Not the government. So the more people they put in it, the more money it's made. And then you have shareholders. they want to make sure that their profit is maximized.
Oh no.
So, you gotta
it's perverse incentives. So I mean, it's the slow way is to encourage people, to educate people, to make people want to do things instead of forced to work. And to want to be a good member of society. But I'm naive enough to think that would be possible if we give people good education and good opportunities, that everybody can have a role to play, and that we could have just one big party, that we're having a great time together, everybody's contributing. But not everybody sees the world that way.
Are you kind of equating being hopeful with being naive?
Yeah, I am. But I'm still hopeful, so that's why I'm thinking like
hopeful is the good word. Yeah.
In spite of everything I'm seeing, I think it's still possible for us to have a world where people want to come together, that they want to make things, they want to make art, make music, and even business. That we don't have to force people to just do things against their will, or else they won't do it. We want to create the conditions where, just like even the haggis that you serve is made with love.
Yes, it was. I poured my heart into that frying pan.
Yeah. And everybody knows that's always better to have a home-cooked meal than just some slop that, it's like...
Yeah.
But everything can be like that if we're, if we find a role to play, or if there's opportunities. Easier said than done.
Yes.
But working at the library, it's like we're not jamming dogma down people's throats. We're making books available, and if you have an interest, we'll help you pursue that interest. But that's the kind of world I want to see, is where people can further their interests and grow and expand their opportunities.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, working at the library sounds like a beautiful thing.
Oh, I can't complain. No, that's the dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, working at the library.
Yeah, and, that's one of the few places that is almost like, I'm surprised we still have them in America, because they're so helpful and friendly and free.
Egalitarian.
All ages, all backgrounds.
Yeah. See, again, I kind of don't know what to say when talking with you guys, when you're talking about the state of America and things like this, because I've never lived there. I don't know it very well, and I can't believe what are the words? The hopelessness with which so many people seem to talk about it now.
But that's what we see on the media, right? But I'm also kind of interested in, how you see America, what's going on in America from the perspective of people who live right now, people who didn't leave, so who hasn't left yet. So yeah, just curious, and maybe because the place you're in, like Austin, is like there are more people who kind of feel that way or think that way, like you do. But I'm also interested in other people, like what they really feel about, how they really feel about what is really going on, because we don't really see. I mean, all the news in the BBC or AP or NPR, even though we are only seeing just a little bit part of what's going on or how they really feel. And I don't know how people really are really feeling or what they are really going to do about what's going on. So, curious that.
I agree. Like, I see the news and I see the Instagram stories and the ridiculous reels and things. But face to face, pretty much, I think, every American I've ever met has been great, fun, interesting, engaged, learning on journeys of healing and self-introspection. It's not, right? It's not, they're not the news.
Right.
If that makes any sense.
Right.
But I would describe it as it's a place of extremes, but there's also extreme polarization, and there's also people that are extremely focused and only getting their news from these extreme points of view.
Oh.
So where we need to come is to be less extreme, or to have more of a coming towards the middle, to less wealth disparity and more wealth distribution. And for people to see the common good instead of what separates us, but what brings us together. And, that's where I'm still hopeful that, yes, it's extreme, and yes, there's, way too many guns or way too much wealth disparity. But as you said, there are a lot of great people.
Yeah.
And if we could ever, magnify those things, then, I think hopefully we're going to enter a renaissance in response to how low we've gotten right now. But it's hard to see that when we're still stuck in the quagmire. But we will rise, those of us who survive and don't get, thrown, into prison and throw away the key. The ones who can make it through, we're going to have to band together. And that's why I'm cultivating these relationships. I lived a lot of my time isolated and just doing my own thing, but learning how to ask for help, and maybe because I don't speak the language, that's been really helpful to be less self-reliant and more, being able to ask for help.
Have you been enjoying your time out of the country?
Yeah. But I'm now going back soon with a lot of inspiration, and, I'm working on a project myself that has to do with networking different artists and musicians and cultural movements, and now mutual aid. And I think if we're working together and less reinventing the wheel, but more learning from each other, then that power will start to accumulate and be used in positive ways.
Right.
So you're saying that the people around you or people you talk to back in Austin or Texas, they are those people kind of feel the same way as you do? That you think so?
Well,
More
everybody, when you say like, "How are you doing?" people are like, "Well, you know."
Right, yeah.
Nobody wants to like bring it up again, but we all know that like this is bad. This is really bad times right now. But there's just been a lot of just disparate efforts, and I think people are starting to see that we're going to have to work together and learn from each other. Or if you're good at this, maybe you're good at fundraising, but you're good at art. Well, let's fundraise for the art, and let's use the art to help the fundraising, or let's just kind of utilizing our strengths instead of doing everything on our own, or polarized, individualized. But I mean, I just came from this delegation from Austin, and everybody is very hopeful and very engaged and interested in doing whatever it takes. And I think that we're realizing that is what it's going to take, is coming together. So, but again, easier said than done, and it's an uphill battle. But there's no choice. We're not given the choice anymore.
Yeah.
But if I could just play off that though, on your delegation, some things you've said to me, I'd point out that part of your delegation though involved members of the Austin Police Department.
Yeah.
And while I'm sure maybe politics didn't come up amongst y'all still found common ground as human beings.
Yeah, and that's honestly, I was sort of prejudiced against, not sort of, very prejudiced against cops because of ICE and, just this history of violence and authoritarianism. But there are amazing cops as well. And the ones on this trip were very service-minded, that protective and not forceful and not trying to change anybody's opinion, but just to provide safety. And they're acquainted with the parts of society that are ugly or rude or violent or unstable. And, one of the people on the trip was like a bomb diffusing expert.
Wow.
And, we had a few years ago a bomb scare where there was like a serial bomber in Austin. This was the head person on, turning the tide to, stop that person. And he was telling me about even at big music festivals that they have dogs that go in between every act on stage. And there are people looking out for us and that are there to help, not just to, try to keep us separated or scared all the time. But yeah, I at least for some, developed some appreciation for it, and also just like team building and working as a unit. Whereas previously I was mostly thinking about how amazing it is for artists and musicians that have a unique quality. But there's also a lot to be said for working as a unit, working as a team, and coming to, and sports has that as well.
Yeah, sure.
But, and developing our, expert athleticism, but also as it functions alongside your teammate. Or, or even the quality of wearing a uniform, of becoming a bigger than yourself. And even talking about this networking, I think that's the direction I'm wanting to go, and not to isolate myself, but to develop myself so that I can network even better. Be a part of something that's bigger than me.
Yeah. Wow. So this trip is proving very useful. Yeah.
Yeah, it gave me a lot of hope and inspiration. I want to come back. I want to go to other sister cities, and I want to even cultivate Austin. We were just talking to Doug earlier today. I want to scope out, well, what restaurants would I want to bring a delegation to if they came to visit us, or and it's just given me some fresh eyes for how to share and how to, promote the amazing things that make us unique and interesting. But for the purpose of hospitality and fostering, people that have a good time and go back to where they're from and say nice things about us, and maybe invite us to come visit them.
That's cool. That's a good way to kind of wrap this up. What do you think? Do you have any final thoughts?
No, yeah, I think if more people did this, sat around and talked to each other instead of viewed each other through social media, but talked to each other face to face, a lot of our problems would go away.
There you go. Hazuki?
Yeah, get rid of social media. That's that might be one good way. But then, I think we just have to know each other in person, and that'll be helpful. It's hard to do because we are so far away from each other sometimes. But then, yes, it's just one at a time. You just get to know others, and that'll be something someday. Yeah.
All right, folks. Thank you very much. That was Hazuki and Doug Cox, Bryce Benton, all the way from Austin, Texas, on his sister city tour. And that is me signing off for this week, folks. Hope you're all having fun out there. I will be back with some bike talk next week. Have fun out there, folks. Love you.
Cycling Hokkaido!